Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 5030 Southeast Thiessen Road here in Milwaukee. We're located, there's the driveway, right through there is the kitchen window. So we're just kind of in this notched out corner area and near the hose bib. Got a 4-inch cast iron clean out. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running. We're going to zero out the foot counter here at the base of the clean out. Off we go. One of the cooler things about Milwaukee, I have scoped a lot of homes over here, probably dang near 1,000 of them at this point. It's one of the unique towns where you typically get cast iron pipe almost all. Oh, this has been updated. Cool. Usually the cast iron will go all the way to the right of way and or street edge, sometimes even further and go all the way to the main that way, which is a unique thing about Milwaukee. So we had a spot repair done there, some 3034 PVC pipe. Now we're back to cast iron. But generally speaking, if you're going to have old pipe products, cast irons and stuff, you generally want to have. It usually holds up considerably better. Oh, and I spoke too soon here. Although this is probably right where the line is finally switching to concrete pipe. So very large root intrusion there. They usually always eventually swap to concrete. Typically speaking, happens at the road edge. So anyway, obviously something to deal with there. It looks like we're in concrete pipe now. It's a very common location to get roots, unfortunately. There's transition joints. We might be getting into another root here potentially. There's a lot of buildup in the line. I am forcing my camera through a lot of gunk at the moment. Oh, we might be tying into the manhole there. That almost looks like a manhole convergence. All right, I'm going to try and locate. It's a very, very busy road. I'm going to be limited on what I can locate. As the line sits right now, though, unless all this stuff clears out of here when I pull back in, the line's going to need jetting to clear all the gunk out of the pipe, to see the rest of the sewer line here that has a bunch of buildup in it. The other reason for doing that is that the line truly has good slope and grade. Right now it looks like it doesn't, but it might be purely because of all the debris buildup in the line. If you've got a line with good slope and grade, and this being 4-inch and 6-inch pipe, it might be 4-inch concrete, but you have the potential makings for doing an epoxy liner, which is trenchless. Last thing you want to be doing if this gets off into the roadway here is digging up Thiessen Road. It would be it's not something you want to have to deal with if you can help it. And if this thing ties into the manhole like I think it is, it would be an even better candidate for it. That's a dream scenario for most liner guys, is to have a line that hooks to the manhole. It makes things much easier. Yeah, I've spent quite a few minutes now trying to get in the road. It's a tricky time of day. There's so much traffic. I was able to run out in the road for just a moment, enough to get a locate, but not get good depths or anything, unfortunately. There is a asphalt patch in the street that is almost directly in line. If you draw an imaginary line from the clean out to the road, pretty much directly in line with the clean out, you'll see an asphalt patch there. That right there looks like the patch where the PVC pipe was installed, is my assumption here. So I'll pull back and at least try and get a depth there, but the line, I would recommend jetting it out to clear the debris up out of there, to see if you've got good enough slope and grade to potentially do a trenchless style repair. Actually, you know what? That PVC, I think, is back on property now that I'm looking at things a little more. I'm not entirely sure what the patch is there for, but it lines up with the sewer line pretty nicely. All right, scratch that. The asphalt patch is unrelated to the sewer line. That may have more to do with the newer bioswell system that was put in. If you're standing in the road, where my marking is about 5 feet or so to the right of where that patch is, and I'm picking that locate up. I parked my camera just before, just to get a consistent locate. Anytime you park halfway between cast and concrete, the locate can come out funny. I'm getting around 5 foot 3 inches there, just before the road edge. I've marked out with a green X. Anyway, unless something has changed, generally speaking, you're responsible all the way into the road in Milwaukee. Especially as it relates to older lines, I'd like to see what this thing looks like cleaned out. You may very well have another root intrusion down line. But let me push back out here really quick. I think we had 6-inch concrete, which can give you some options sometimes to help avoid getting into the road. Sometimes you can do a sleeve and run a rigid 4-inch pipe right down the middle of the 6-inch pipe. Yeah, that looks like it's making a diameter change there. Makes a step down. So it looks like that is 6-inch concrete as far as I can tell. So it's worth exploring that and getting it cleaned out. At this juncture in time, though, if you're going to be updating old pipe like this, it's just the time to update the whole section of concrete, not just parts of it. That's my 2 cents on it. Well, you've already got a hole opened up there. It's the opportune moment to deal with it. A little bit of movement took place there at the joint. It's very minor. The joint looks like it's sealed up. And I am going to do a little bit of reviewing of this video at home. The sun angle right now is terrible. I'm also shading my camera or my monitor with an umbrella, and I'm still having a hard time getting my eyes to adjust. Mostly to fine detail. Big obvious stuff is fairly easy to see right now, but just be aware of that. There may be something on the report I don't mention on video here. By and large, it looks like all the cast iron and PVC pipe, all of that appears to be in good shape. Again, I'm going to review the video and make sure of that. The concrete pipe is the bigger question, is what's going on out there once you get about 5 to 8, 10 feet into the concrete. Needs to be cleaned out and re-scoped to see what's going on. That'll also kind of help dictate what kind of options you have for repairs, especially trenchless ones, which is ideal on a road like this. Anytime you can avoid traffic control or have a lot less of it, it's a big money saver. But I very minimum recommend a repair there on the root intrusion. Realistically, I recommend the concrete pipe altogether get updated. That's my 2 cents on that. It's just the time to update if you're already digging right there next to the roadway.